Hi, my name is Jason. I'm a kitchen facilitator for the Nanaimo Foodshare Summer Lunch Munch program. And today we're going to be cooking a Thai peanut sauce salad. And for this, for equipment, you're going to need a cutting board, a pan, a large bowl, a pot with a fitted lid, a spoon or a whisk, a knife, a spatula, a peeler, a spoon, some measuring cups, measuring spoons, and a couple of measuring cups for the quinoa and water. But as far as the ingredients go for the sauce, you're going to need peanut butter, natural or regular, it doesn't make a big deal, honey or agave or any kind of sweetener you like. I like to use honey, tamari or soy sauce, and sesame oil. You're going to want an orange and a lime. You can use just orange juice from the container if that's all you have access to. That's all right. Some ginger, a huge garlic clove, and some peanuts or sesame seeds for garnish. As for what I'm going to put into the salad itself, you're going to have quinoa as the base, which you need. And what I'm choosing to put into my salad today is some broccoli, some carrot, some cucumber, green onion, and pepper. You can pick any color pepper you'd like or any other ingredients like edamame or tofu or cabbage. So first things first, because we need to have it cool for the salad, we're going to start off with the quinoa. So what you're going to want to do is in your pot, you're going to want to bring 2 cups of water to a boil, or 2 parts to 1 1/4 parts, whether that's cups or more than that. That's kind of just the ratio. But ultimately, as long as there's twice as much water as there is quinoa, plus a little bit more quinoa, it's not a big deal. And you want to bring this to a simmer, or to a boil rather, and you'll put in the quinoa after. What I like to do is I add in a little bit of oil and salt to this so that it seasons the quinoa and it coats the quinoa in a little bit of oil so that they don't stick together after it's done cooking. So while we're waiting for our water to boil, what we're going to want to do is incorporate all of our ingredients into the blender. The measurements for this is going to be 3 slices of ginger, which I will show you in a moment how to cut and peel, 1 large garlic clove, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 2 or 3 tablespoons of lime, which is just about 1 fresh lime. You're going to want 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, and 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. But first, I'm going to show you how to cut and clean the ginger. So what you want to do is carefully cut off the end where there's skin, and then you're going to want to cut in just a little bit. So you have about 3 thick pieces. And instead of using a peeler for your ginger, because the skin is so thin, you only need to really peel it with a spoon and it comes right off, and it saves you a bunch, as well as it's able to save you a lot of time and ginger, so you don't have to buy nearly as much. If you're peeling a lot of ginger, you might want to put on gloves just because there's something in it that makes it feel kind of hot, and it might bother your skin afterwards. So what you're going to do is cut it against the grain to help cut the fibers. And then do like a quick rough chop. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy because we're going to be putting it all into the blender afterwards anyways, but this kind of helps speed up the process a little bit. And then here's our massive garlic clove that we only need to cut up just a little bit again because it's not, we don't need to break it down all the way. I'm not even going to use the entire thing because that's such a big garlic clove. It's exciting. Now, if you were to be trying to mince this garlic without putting it into the blender, what you can also do is you can put a little bit of coarse ground salt and you can pull your knife across it, which helps break it down, but that is not needed for right now. So what we're going to do is put this all into our blender. carefully pick it up with our knife. Use the back of the knife. This is not a good habit to have. And we're going to want to put in all of our ingredients. All of these ingredients are guidelines. It's not specific. If you like more peanut butter or you like it sweeter, to add a little bit more honey, that's okay. I personally put less sesame oil than most people do. It's just not my thing, but it's definitely an important ingredient. Something you can add to this as well is cilantro. I personally don't love cilantro, so I'm not going to, but if you do, that's okay. I think our water's boiling. Nope. So we're also going to want to add the lime and the orange. As I had mentioned, you can do it from concentrate in case it's a little bit expensive or you don't have access or whatever the case may be. So it's going to be 3 tablespoons of lime and of lemon, or of orange rather. By rolling it, you're breaking down the cell structure, which is going to help get more juice out of it. So you're going to want 1 full lime and only half of an orange. All those essential oils coming out of the skin smell really nice. To make this easier, you can stick a fork into it if you'd like. Our water is definitely boiling now. So what you want to do is once it's boiling, you're going to want to add it to the water and stir it in. Reduce to a low temperature and let it simmer for 14 minutes. So I'm going to put on a timer for 14 minutes right now. So while we're waiting for that, we'll blend our ingredients and have our sauce ready for us. When you're making a sauce in the blender, you can also add a little bit of coarse ground salt to help break it up a little bit more if there's having issues. But specifically with this recipe, I wouldn't want to do that because there's already quite a lot of salt from the soy sauce. That's not a big deal right now. There we go, perfect. Nicely incorporated. Over here. So while we wait for our quinoa to finish cooking, we're just going to cut all the different ingredients that we're going to be putting into the salad itself. At which point we can just bring over our bowl so we've got a place to put all the stuff. So I'm going to put broccoli into mine. But I'm going to cut the broccoli a little bit smaller than I am the rest of the ingredients just because I don't want really big florets. Nice smaller bite-sized pieces to come together in the salad. Something I hadn't mentioned about the dressing is if for some reason your blender just it's a little bit big and there's not enough liquid in there and it's not really coming together properly, you can double the recipe easily. Or you can add just a little bit of water or a little bit more lime juice, which will help bring it together. Another thing that you can add to this, to to this salad is edamame, which I wish that I had thought of beforehand, because that is a fantastic thing to add into this, because that will work really, really well. As it's a great opportunity to add some protein and some more greens. You can also add some cabbage, which would be nice, or even tofu. What you want to do whenever you're cutting a pepper is cut one side off and put the flat side down so it doesn't slide around as much, or roll around rather. And you always want to keep your fingers curled back towards you. If your knife isn't very sharp, it's a little bit better to cut not on the skin side, because the skin is a little bit smooth and it can make it a little bit more difficult for you to cut. As well, if you like spice, I didn't add any hot sauce to mine, just I didn't really want to have any heat today. But you can also add fresh chilies or other hot peppers into this, which would be really nice. But because it's not going to be cooked or diluted into a lot of things, be careful with the seeds if it's really spicy, because the seeds are the spiciest part. You don't want to have like this nice salad and then a bite of something that's just too spicy. So for the green onion, I like to cut off just the ends. And cut as thinly as I possibly can, just so I don't get too much of an onion flavor, too much of a bite, but I still have the nice crisp taste of the green onion in there. You can use regular white onion or sweet onion or whatever the case may be. As well, it's not a big deal. You can also, if you cut this ahead of time, if you'd like to, you can add the bottom portion of this right into your sauce if you like green onion or onions in general. So for our carrot, I'm going to top and tail it. And what you want to do when you're peeling is you want to hold it down towards the cutting board and peel away from you. You don't need to peel the entire carrot in one go. You can then switch it over to the other side, which you have left, where you were holding on to. Get these out of the way, put them into our compost. This is a little bit big, so I'm going to cut it down to a more manageable size. And with the carrots, because they're a lot firmer than everything else I'm putting into the salad, I want to cut them a little bit smaller. I'm a little bit more comfortable with a knife, so I can do this a little bit faster than most, but take as much time as you need. The nice thing about the carrot is because it's a naturally sweet thing, it works well with this sweet salad, or this sweet sauce rather. Just add a little bit more. It's a little bit big. I'm just going to give that a quick rough chop. For the cucumber, you can, if you want to keep on the, skin. I personally will, because I love cucumber and I love cucumber skin. And it's nice because it doesn't have a super strong flavor, so you can add lots of it in there, and it will never overpower the dressing or the other ingredients, which onion and other ingredients like that have the opportunity to do. I love cucumber. It's by far my favorite. All right.
Did you always like cucumber, or did you acquire a taste?
As a kid, my mom always fed it to us with cheese for some reason, but it was so good. And ever since then, I don't think, as far as whenever I've been buying my own groceries, I don't think I've ever gone to a grocery shop without buying cucumbers. It's just one of those must-haves in my fridge.
Might be a tip there to start off with cheese.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so good with everything. Put it in water, salad, doesn't matter. Hummus, it's all good. So, after 14 minutes, what you're gonna wanna do is turn off the heat. Move it from the hot spot on the stove. Be careful that you're not gonna burn yourself. And you're gonna let that sit for 5 minutes while it sets. You wanna wait to make sure that all of the water has been removed and let it sit. After the 5 minutes has elapsed, you wanna go over and grab it. You bring it over here. Just wanna fluff it a little bit. Then pour it out onto our tray. And you can either let this cool at room temperature if you'd like, if you're gonna be making the quinoa ahead of time. Put it in the fridge overnight or for a few hours. Or what we would do in like a professional kitchen is if we really needed it as soon as we could, what we're gonna do is put it on a tray, flatten it out to make as much surface area as we can, and make it as thin as we can so it doesn't hold a lot of heat, and we're gonna put it into the freezer. So we're just gonna get ready to mix all of our ingredients. Now that our quinoa is cooled, we can put it into our bowl with all of our different ingredients. And just to make sure that our sauce is nicely incorporated, we can blend it again, just for about 5 seconds, nothing too big. Just like that. And then we can mix it into our bowl. You're able to use any nut butter you'd like. I personally think peanut butter works the best, and not the natural kind, just for flavor, but definitely if you're a little bit more health conscious, use the natural stuff. Wow butter would also work fantastic in this if you're allergic to peanuts.
Show it to me when you stir it. Kind of tilt it my way when you stir it.
Yep. Try to get as much as you can out of there. And then you're gonna want to just mix it and incorporate it. Mix in the quinoa and the veggies. What you can do as well is, if you cook the quinoa ahead of time, you can mix the sauce into the quinoa and just use a little bit of a heavy hand, and then quickly add in the veggies. If you have a family where you have picky eaters where you don't want to incorporate everything and they can kind of just add their individual ingredients, you can make like the peanut sauce quinoa on its own and then add the different ingredients and stir them up. All right, so now that it's all mixed, if you want to let this sit in the fridge for a little bit, it'll taste even better because all of the flavors have melded. It's something I personally love to bring camping with me because it's easy, it's high in protein, it's high in all the good stuff. You know, honestly, it's so good and it's so easy. Just add it into the bowl. I personally like to garnish with a little bit of peanuts, sesame seeds, but I don't have any, some green onions, and I love fresh lime juice on top. And that's it. So good. So here's our Thai peanut quinoa salad, and I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for cooking with me today.